Okay, Mike, we've got you on the screen. Let's jump right into it and get you looked at. I think your name is Mike. That's what it had on your YouTube link. If not, my apologies. At any rate, you can see I've got you split screen. That's Zach Greinke. You guys have a lot of similarities. I'll put a couple other pictures up side by side to kind of try to prove a point. Also, just so you know that there are exceptions to the rules. So there are guys in the MLB that don't have great mechanics, but the ones that do, that have velocity, that tend to not have arm problems and throw a high percentage of strikes, you'll notice that they all exhibit very similar attributes. So I've got you in high leg kick. You'll see that's about as high as you get right there. Now, same thing goes for Greinke. I've got him in slow motion already, so he's going to move a little bit slower as I scrub the screen. One thing you can see with Greinke when he's starting to come out of high leg kick, you can see his hands staying back. They're behind his body. His glove is behind his body. You can look and see there's a line. He's staying back, and he is leading with his hips. Okay, staying what they call stacked or gathered. Okay, look at you coming out of handbrake. Right away out of handbrake, you can see your elbow is starting to move forward. It's here where Greinke's is still back. You're already breaking hands pretty high, right at shoulder length. Greinke breaks a little higher as well. I'll show you a couple other pictures that break at about the waist, which would really help you. So there you are. You're already coming out of handbrake. One thing that let's take Greinke out of handbrake. A couple things to notice that are really big. Here's your foot, and look where your toe is. Okay, it's already starting to point towards home plate. Okay, sorry about that. Greinke's toes, or his front toe and his front leg, is staying closed really well. He's driving with the back leg. Okay, and you can see that his forces are in this direction as he's driving. Okay, it's like a sideways lunge. Let's get him into front foot strike. Look at that front foot. It's still, everything is still sideways. Look at his angle here, still sideways. Everything's moving towards the plate. Okay, let's get him into front foot strike. Now, as he's getting into front foot strike, you'll see that foot and the front leg square up. He's still on his power line. He did not step across his body, and boom, there he is. Perfect position. You'll see his throwing arm. Sorry about that. There's his angle there. Okay, let's try to measure the angle. One more time. I'd say he's at 90 or a little inside 90. Okay, let's take you into front foot strike. Right away, there you go. You start opening up, and one thing you'll notice as you open up, that front foot starts pointing way too early into front foot strike. There you are at touchdown. Boom, right there. Okay, you'll see you're not anywhere near sideways or still facing, in this case, the third base side. Your shoulders are already starting to go this way. When we go from behind and look at that delivery, you'll see it very dramatically. Okay, so there you are in the front foot strike. Let's look at your angle. Unfortunately, there's a light right behind where your arm is, where you were in that ice rink, and it really blurs out your back arm. But I've got enough of it that we can draw your angle. Okay, so there you are. There and right there. So you're definitely way outside of 90. Okay, one of the reasons your arm is dragging behind and late, coming out of internal rotation to your high Hancock position, is because your front foot and your front side opened up really early. Look what happens. It's almost a direct result. When this front foot right here starts opening up, you'll see the knee start to roll over very early. Okay, let's look at it. There it goes. Boom. Do you see that? Right there, it's rolling over. Let's look at Greinke. Look at where his foot is, and his knee still hasn't. You're about in the same spot. Look where his arm and his glove is. Yours. You're about in the same spot in the delivery, except he's still gathered. He's still got all his energy back here gathered, and you've already shifted yours. You've already given up your backside. Okay? On your first delivery, you did a much better job of staying stacked, and you didn't roll this knee down quite as quick. My suspicion is you get a little too anxious to get to front foot strike, and when you do, this knee rolls down early, this foot opens up early, and then your arm is late getting in the high cock position. There you are, boom. Look where your head is tilting hard this way. Okay, let's get Greinke into that spot, and let's see where his head and his shoulders are. Boom. That's about the same spot that you guys are in. Your glove is already tucked. You see that over here? His is still right here, ready to slam. So from this position, you ought to be ready to absolutely let it go. I try to give an analogy to my pitchers of somebody either throwing a javelin or pole vaulter. They run as hard as they can, and they're trying to stick that landing, and once they do, this front side does not move anymore, and then it's just all that energy you've built up moving down the mound, which you do with good momentum, and having that all translate towards the catcher. Okay, so let's go into ball release. Here's Greinke. Boom. There he is. Now let's look at you. There you are. Okay, so let's move you over here. Let's move Greinke here. Let's look at, again, your arm is a blur a little bit. You're probably right here. Greinke, his arm right after ball release is pretty far out. You can see a difference in your back angles. He's a little more further out. Okay. Another thing we like to look at is how good does your leg stabilize you into landing. Do you have any power leak? Let's draw a line and see if you drift forward. Pretty good. See, so you're able to hold that energy. The problem is you've already released a bunch of it into front foot strike. Okay, let's look at let's see here. See if I can get